distractions are no longer distracting for people like myself, for many people in this world that have been looking and looking, slipping and sliding on the path. When I finally come to the point where I'm no longer even distracted by the distractions, what then?
Well, time to make a move. This is a process of evolution. Everybody is moving at their own pace. Some people learn kind of easier ways, but most of the people I know learn the hard way. And if you get enough hard lessons, then you finally ready to put down this thing called hope. And when you're ready to put down this thing called hope, then your fears and your desires will just sort of slip away along with it. Mm. When that happens, then you put yourself in a position where you can find the kind of teachings you need, the kind of encouragement you need, the kind of spiritual friends who are going to help and support you along the way. And the evolution process then picks up steam. This is really a good sign. It's why is this such a powerful moment in our life? Because the suffering is so intense, really. The suffering is intense because what's left? If I've done all this, I've done that, been there, done that, there's nothing left. So what's this life about? Is it time to commit suicide? That's one option. Or is it time to so-called commit suicide in the way of spiritual life? And I don't mean killing yourself with some sort of weapon. I mean just helping to dissolve and disengage the misconception that you're who you think you are. And you get out from under that, you're free. Then there's nothing anybody is searching for that's more important than freedom. I guarantee you that.
There's a technique that I'd like to ask about where you watch the breath. What is this?
Well, meditation takes two forms. One is samadhi, and the other is vipassana, or insight. Samadhi is concentration. If you sit and you take an object and you focus on that object, providing that object isn't distractive or emotional, like, say, a mantra like the word love or something like that, you don't really want to deal with that. But if you start working with something like neutral, or a word like Buddho, which represents the Buddha, or Yesu, which represents Christ, if you use these kind of techniques, these kind of strategies, focusing, bringing the mind more and more focused, and limiting the movement of the mind, and inclining the mind towards this mantra, or the breath as an object, something like that, the mind will become more quiet, more refined. You can take the mind from there to ne wasana nasana yantana, if I pronounce that right, which means neither perception nor non-perception. Your mind becomes so refined that you neither have perception nor non-perception. The mind can't even think about what that means. But it's an experience that, of course, the body is gone, and also the thought mechanism is gone. It takes energy to watch the mind. If you don't watch the mind, you don't have to watch the mind. There's just a watching that's going on by itself. The mind will get very, very refined. This is samatha, or samadhi practice. The other path is vipassana, or insight. Insight, you don't have to have any kind of something to engage or hold the mind, because you don't want to hold the mind. You just want to know the mind. You don't want the mind to be anything special. You want to use the ordinary mind in the ordinary conditions, so that you know in every mind moment what's going on, what's happening, what's arising, what's passing away. And in that, you develop a stronger, a more intelligent, a quicker, a mind that's developing insight. And insight is simply seeing that everything's changing, there's suffering in every mind moment, and there's nobody there. Any mind moment where you see that occurring, which is what Vipassana is all about, will move you one more erg of energy towards your freedom, which we call enlightenment.
Appropriate response to something. Oftentimes we wonder, are we doing the right thing? Where does appropriate response come from?
Yeah, that word appropriate, I don't know the connotation in the conventional world, but to me it implies the fact that wisdom is leading your life. You're not making the choices. Wisdom is making the choice. If you're going to make choices and situations arise, you're always going to be looking until you're enlightened, until you're wise. You're always going to be looking for some way to avoid suffering and for some way for you to get more pleasure or happiness out of that particular moment. If you're working with wisdom and wisdom is leading your life, then it'll be appropriate behavior. Sometimes you'll be doing things that'll create pain for yourself. You'll be going in a direction against finding happiness for yourself. And that's praiseworthy. And it'll come out of wisdom only. You'll act unselfishly, and wisdom will be the thing that leads you in your life.
You've said, and it makes great sense to me, and maybe to many, many of the viewers, that the most important thing in life is to know who you are. Can you elaborate on that just for us again?
Well, for a lot of people, I think it just sounds too abstract. And if it does, don't start there. Start with trying to find out who you're not. And try to find out who you're not. Are you your parents' child? Are you a parent of your children? Are you a friend? If all these kind of ideas about who you are, your various identities, were taken apart, who would you be? I'm not talking about some kind of condition of Alzheimer's or something like that, but just seeing the raw reality of who we are. We're a mind and we're a body. Things are arising and passing away. Things occurring in the mind are things that we don't have any control over. The body is deteriorating. Why? Because it was born. It's inclining towards death. We can't control that. We're going to live as long as our karma allows us to do so. But being alive a long time is certainly not the objective. The objective is coming to know who we are. If you don't know who you are, what's the point of your life? Is the point to accumulate more things? Have more cars, more houses, more friends? Is there anything worth having a lot of that can replace the idea of knowing who you are?
Thanks everybody for joining us with Ajahn Sumano Bhikku here at the Double Eye Cave Sanctuary in Thailand. Ajahn has been emphasizing today that knowing who you are is the priority. So once again, Sawadee Krap from Thailand, and thanks for joining us.